Destruction of Jerusalem and the exile of Judah. Jeremiah 52. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he started out as king. He was king in Jerusalem for 11 years. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah. Her hometown was in Libnah. As far as God was concerned, Zedekiah was just one more evil king, a carbon copy of Jehoiakim. The source of all of this doom to Jerusalem and Judah was God's anger. God turned his back on them as an act of judgment. Zedekiah revolted against the king of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar set out for Jerusalem with a full army. He set up camp and sealed off the city by building siege mounds around it. He arrived on the 9th year and 10th month of Zedekiah's reign. The city was under siege for 19 months until the 11th year of Zedekiah. By the 4th month of Zedekiah's 11th year, on the 9th day of the month, the famine was so bad that there wasn't so much as a crumb of bread for anyone. And then the Babylonians broke through the city walls. Under the cover of the night darkness, the entire Judean army fled through an opening in the wall. It was the gate between the two walls above the king's garden. They slipped the lines of the Babylonians who surrounded the city and headed for the Jordan into the Arabah Valley, but the Babylonians were in full pursuit. They caught up with them in the plains of Jericho, but by then, Zedekiah's army had deserted and was scattered. The Babylonians captured Zedekiah and marched him off to the king of Babylon at Riblah and Hamath, who tried and sentenced him on the spot. The king of Babylon then killed Zedekiah's sons right in front of his eyes. The summary murder of his sons was the last thing Zedekiah saw, for then they blinded him. The king of Babylon followed that up by killing all the officials of Judah. Securely handcuffed, Zedekiah was hauled off to Babylon. The king of Babylon threw him in prison where he stayed until the day he died. In the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, on the 7th day of the 5th month, Nebuzaradan, the king of Babylon's chief deputy, arrived in Jerusalem. He burned the temple of God to the ground, went to the royal palace, and then finished off the city. He burned the whole place down. He put the Babylonian troops he had with him to work knocking down the city walls. Finally, he rounded up everyone left in the city, including those who had earlier deserted to the king of Babylon, and took them off into exile. He left a few poor dirt farmers behind to tend the vineyards and what was left of the fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars, the bronze washstands, and the huge bronze basin, which was the sea, that were in the temple of God, and hauled the bronze off to Babylon. They also took the various bronze-crafted liturgical accessories, as well as the gold and silver censers and sprinkling bowls used in the services of temple worship. The king's deputy didn't miss a thing. He took every scrap of precious metal he could find. The amount of bronze that they got from the 2 pillars, the sea, and the 12 bronze bowls that supported the sea, and the 10 washstands that Solomon had made for the temple of God was enormous. They could not weigh it all. Each pillar stood 27 feet high with a circumference of 18 feet. The pillars were hollow, the bronze a little less than an inch thick. Each pillar was topped with an ornate capital of bronze, pomegranate, and filigree, which added another 7.5 feet to its height. There were 96 pomegranates evenly spaced. In all, 100 pomegranates worked into the filigree. The king's deputy took a number of special prisoners. Sarai, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the associate priest, 3 wardens, the chief remaining army officer, 7 of the king's counselors who happened to be in the city, the chief recruiting officer for the army, and 60 men of standing from among the people who were still there. Nebuzaradan, the king's deputy, marched them all off to the king of Babylon at Riblah. And there at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, the king of Babylon killed the lot of them in cold blood. Judah went into exile, orphaned from her land. 3,023 men of Judah were taken into exile by Nebuchadnezzar in the 7th year of his reign. 832 from Jerusalem were taken in the 18th year of his reign. 745 men from Judah were taken off by Nebuzaradan, the king's chief deputy, in Nebuchadnezzar's 23rd year. The total number of exiles was 4,600. When Jehoiakim, king of Judah, had been in exile for 37 years, evil Merodach became king in Babylon and let Jehoiakim out of prison. This release took place on the 25th day of the 12th month. The king treated him courteously and gave him preferential treatment beyond anything experienced by the political prisoners held in Babylon. Jehoiakim took off his prison garb and from then on ate his meals in the company with the king. The king provided everything that he needed to live comfortably for the rest of his life.